Hello everyone, welcome to the Chapter 3 videos where we're going to be talking about decimals. Now a lot of this material, it's going to be pretty reminiscent of Chapters 1 and 2, especially the word problems, but I would like to touch on a few of the highlights from the decimal material. Now the first thing that will be new for decimals is the rounding convention whenever we have new names now for the places. And so we had with whole numbers basically places that appear to the left of the decimal. Now we're going to talk about the places that appear to the right. And so of course we start out with the ones place whenever we're going for the whole numbers, and then it goes by multiples of tens, like the tens place, and then we have hundreds. Of course we have, for example, the thousands place. Whenever we are doing the decimals though, the places that are after the decimal, we don't have something that's similar to the ones place. We just start with this one calling tenths. And so we get kind of this word like tenths place, and then it still goes by multiples of tens. So tenths, and then hundredths, and then thousandths. And so this one would go like 10,000ths place. And so here we are wanting to round this number just to the thousandths. And so of course we have the same strategy for rounding. We just find out which place this is, the thousandths place. And so it goes, the 0 is in the tenths, and then hundredths. This 4 right here is in the thousandths. And so we look at the 4, and then we just look at the number that's next to it. And so of course there's a 7 there next to it. And since that's more than 5, then we should round up. So the 4 goes up and becomes a 5. So this becomes 123 and 5 hundredths. I'm sorry, I'm missing a 0. 5 thousandths. Of course, we're rounding to the thousandths place, so it should be 5 thousandths. And then we have this problem where we're going to arrange these decimals in order. And so one of the ways that we can think about this one is what will happen if we round these numbers, what they would round to, or else really what we're doing is we're sorting them beginning in the tenths place. And so you can see 3 of them already have an 8 in the tenths place, and so these numbers are very similar. We've got this number has a 0 in the tenths place, and so this one obviously is the smallest, the one that goes 0.086, which is the name of this number would go like 86 thousandths. And then we can look, everything else has something after the 8. And so the next smallest one is the one that just goes 8 tenths. Now we're basically comparing between these two. And so we can just check the next place, the hundredths place. This one has a 6, and the other one in the hundredths place has a 0. So 6 is more than 0, of course. So this one goes the smallest one. And the names of these numbers are kind of funny. This one, for example, it has a very long name. You name the numbers based on which place the last number is in. So this 1 over here is in the tenths, hundredths, thousands. The 1 is in the 10,000ths place, so you know that you're going to pronounce this number like 10,000ths. It is 8,061 10,000ths. And so it's a little bit technical, of course. It feels more convenient to just name it 0.8061, which a lot of people would say it that way. Now we have another rounding number. We would like to round this one to the 100,000ths. So we have to find it where the 100,000ths is, and we can just count them. Tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths. The 7 is in the 100,000ths place. And so we're rounding to the 7 here. We look just next to it, there's a 9 there, and so we should round it up, so it should become an 8. So we would go 0.02008, which is called 2008 hundred thousandths. And then we're going to round this one to cents. And of course, cents is another way to say the hundredths place. And so we're rounding it to where this 9 is, that's in the hundredths place. We would look just next to it, there's a 5 there, so we should round it up. The 9, of course, when you round it up, it becomes a 0, but we put an extra 1 next to it, and so it's really kind of rounding up to a 10. So the 10 will add to the 5, make it a 6. And so it becomes $12.60. And then we'll see some very interesting problems from this section coming up, which include converting back and forth between fractions and decimals. It's pretty easy, but it just takes a little bit of practice. And so I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks.